welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you have been here before. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about a little experience that I had recently. It's a bit of a story time. So I hope you enjoy this. I haven't done one of these before. I have my notes on what happened down here. So if you see me looking down or like I'm lost or something at some point, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't forget anything. But basically, I recently went on vacation. If you saw that video, great. If not, I will link it here, up here somewhere. Basically what happened was I went on vacation, or I was about to go on vacation, and I found out that I did not have a valid passport. So I'm going to go back to the beginning and kind of explain this whole, I have dual citizenship and kind of some of that. So first I'm going to explain how I have dual citizenship. I was born in the US, so I have the United States citizenship, obviously. And then I have an Irish citizenship, Irish passport, because, well, my grandparents were both born in Ireland, and my father got dual citizenship because his parents were born there, and then I have dual citizenship because my father is a citizen as well as my grandparents. Mainly this is so that you can travel in Europe and it's not quite as difficult. I actually considered moving to Ireland not that long ago, so this is kind of a funny story because it could have almost happened. I've had my US passport longer than I have my Irish passport, and I assumed that because the first time I left the country and needed a passport was in 2009, that I got my passport in 2009. And since passports are valid for 10 years, I assumed it expired in 2019. So I would be fine for this trip, and I didn't even think about it. So the day before I was leaving, I looked at my passport and I found out that it had actually expired a month before my trip. So I kind of freaked out for like a second, and then I was like, oh no, I'm fine. I have my Irish passport. I should be able to, you know, just bring the expired one and whatever. So I did some research to kind of make sure that this was true, and I called up my dad, and I found out that this might not be true. That I would be able to fly out of the country, but I would not be able to fly back into the country, which freaked me out a lot. So my dad sent me this information for a passport expediting company. So I stayed up all night. I was filling out all of these forms. They're open 24 hours, so you can call them at night, but they don't expedite anything. The office opens at 8. So I couldn't actually do anything yet, but I could talk to the woman and kind of get information from her. And she was telling me, you know, we can ship it for you. You can come here in the morning. We open at 8. You fill out all the forms now so that when you get here, it can just be like quick because you have your flight and you gotta go. And then once everything's done and the passport is finished, we can ship it to you in DR. The problem was this was the week of the 4th of July. So I was leaving on Tuesday, which was the 3rd. The following day was the 4th. And because of that, they weren't going to be able to actually pick up my passport until the 5th, because the offices that you pick up your passports from and everything aren't open on the 4th of July, which would mean that I would have to they would be shipping it on the 5th to me on the 6th, and it would have to get to me. No, wait. No, they would have to get it on the 5th. It would have to be shipped out to me on the 5th to get to me on the 6th, because I was flying out on the 7th back to the United States. So it had to be here by that Friday. I did not sleep. I stayed up all night. I filled out forms. I called a bunch of people, got advice from people. My friend that I called, Lena, was laughing at me. She's like, well, what's gonna happen if you go there and you can't come home? Are they not gonna let you back in the country? What are they gonna deport you to a country you've never been? I was like, I don't really know. Like, I would be doing this and I would have no anything. I have no no knowledge of what would be happening. I feel like I'm getting talking from upstairs. I don't know if you guys are picking that up or not. I'm hoping not, because then I'd probably have to record this again. So basically, then I get to the office and they inform me that they don't ship internationally because it's too tricky. So I would have to have someone else come and pick it up and ship it to me. So I got my dad to do that, which was great, you know, clutch. Basically, he would have to get there on the 5th, then take the passport to FedEx and ship it out like immediately. So I go through all the paperwork, I go through all the things, I give them every dime I have because that's how much it costed to have my passport made in the time frame in which I would need it. And it was, I just was like, I left the office and there was really nothing else I could do in terms of passport stuff at that point. So the office there opened at 8, so I dealt with all of that. And then as soon as I was leaving, customs office opened. So I called them. What they told me was I would be able to go to the US Embassy in the Dominican Republic, fill out some forms, and they would give me a document that would mean that I would be able to fly back into the US with that document. Because I was freaking out thinking there's a chance that this might not get to me in time. Because I am shipping it internationally, it would have to get to me in less than 24 hours. I don't know if that's gonna happen. So from there, I call them, they tell me I should be able to go to the US Embassy, they give me a document, and that should be fine. But the problem is, my hotel is in Punta Cana. The US Embassy is in Santo Domingo. Now, I did not want to have to do a 2-hour drive to Santo Domingo to pick up my passport. So I really didn't want to have to do that. That was like I really didn't want to have to do that. So then I was like, okay, but is there any way I can fly back in with my Irish passport? And they were like, well, yes, but that could be a problem later. You would have to apply for a visa stating that you are now you are an Irish citizen trying to come back into the United States, or trying to come into the United States. So I would have to apply for the visa. But what he was saying was, once I got back into the United States, it would be a problem, because with that visa, I would only be allowed to be here for a certain amount of time. And because I came back into the United States as an Irish citizen, my citizenship, my primary citizenship, would be switched from American to Irish. Therefore, I could possibly be deported, which my friend that was laughing at me earlier, she really had a kick out of that. Because now I would no longer be, and I just, honestly, this whole thing just seems absolutely absurd to me. I mean, I was born here, my primary residence is here, it just doesn't make any sense. Which, when I applied for the visa, just as like a backup plan, was kind of the same reaction I got from the people handling my forms, that you're saying you were born in the United States, your primary residence is the United States, why do you need this? And basically they wouldn't really do it. So that didn't quite work out. That was a backup plan. I found out when I was in DR, I packed everything up, I traveled without a passport. So yeah, that was fun. Basically, when I found out about the whole visa thing, I was like, oh, it's great. I have like a plan. I've got everything kind of figured out. Obviously, I just told you the visa thing did not work out. So I get on the plane, flew to DR. I'm in DR. I'm on vacation. I'm trying to enjoy it to the best of my abilities. But also, at the same time, I'm trying to contact the US Embassy because I want a backup plan. I basically just want to be sure that on the day of my flight, I will be able to go home. So I've emailed the US Embassy because they don't do walk-ins, they don't do phone calls. Basically, the only way I could get in touch with anybody was via email. So I keep emailing them and emailing them and emailing them, and every time I email somebody, they're like, nope, you've got the wrong thing, or you got this, or now you have to fill out this. But the forms they're sending me to fill out are like for somebody who's an Irish citizen, not as somebody who's an American citizen. And I'm just like, you're not like, and basically it was a whole waste of my time. So from there, I had one option left, and that was my passport. So it's Thursday, July 5th. My dad has picked up my passport. He's at FedEx. I'm on my way to dinner. He's calling me and he's letting me know that they can't ship the passport to my hotel because when you're shipping things to DR, it goes through Santo Domingo first. It has to be processed through Santo Domingo, and then it would have to be sent to my hotel. So it wouldn't get to me until Monday because there's no shipping in the Dominican Republic on the weekends. So basically he's telling me now that I would have to rent a car and drive to Santo Domingo to a random FedEx to pick up my passport. Which I'm gonna say, I was freaking out a little bit because this meant that if it didn't get there, I wouldn't be able to come home until Monday because I wouldn't have a passport until Monday. So I would have to spend 2 more days in another country with no flight home and nowhere to stay because now I have no money. This is a great plan by me. Great plan. Not well. I thought this through so well. So Joe and I, we rent the car, we drive down to Santo Domingo. It is 2 hours there, it is 2 hours back. Basically the entire time I'm just praying that it's there. It was a little scary because, I didn't really know what was gonna happen. So we get to FedEx. I am praying that it's there. And it is. So everything worked out. Had anything gone wrong in shipping, in the passport, in anything, if anything had gone wrong, I would have had to stay. And because nothing else that I had done. I guess if it hadn't arrived, I would have gone to the US Embassy. But the problem was the US Embassy closed before the FedEx. So if it wasn't at I would have had to stay at the FedEx, or Joe would have, we would have had to split up because I don't know what would have happened. All in all, other than the fact that we had to drive around for 4 hours in another country that we weren't familiar with and take time out of our vacation, for the most part, it worked out. It was like the best possible outcome that we could have had. Or we could have not gone, but I felt like I spent so much money to go that not going didn't feel like an option. One thing I will say though about having to drive to Santo Domingo is there are so many people, they complain about the traffic in New York and they complain about the traffic in LA, and I have driven through both and neither one of them even combined could be close to as bad as the traffic that I experienced in Santo Domingo. That was just horrifying. It was terrible. Like, not horrifying as in frightening, just absolute madness. But anyways, end of story. Got my passport. Thanked God, literally, in the FedEx. And then I came home, and I am incredibly lucky that, everyone involved in this, put the effort in to get this to happen for me. So I'm very grateful to Joe and my dad and FedEx and the passport company that I can't remember right now. Actually, it should be on my passport. Hold on. rushpassports.com. Thank you. But basically, just because you have another one, the whole point of this story, just because you have one or two or whatever, make sure you have your passports up to date. Make sure that you're not, just be sure of everything, because you don't want to do what I did. This was horrendous. And it cost a lot of money. I'm not even gonna get into how much money it cost, but it cost a lot of money. Not just for me, for my dad. So it's crazy. I don't even know how much he spent on shipping. I didn't ask. So I'm just gonna say it probably cost a lot, but I got it. And now if I ever go somewhere within the next 10 years, I'm good. Just need to remember the next time not to do this again. Don't do this either. It stinks. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of me, subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one.